It's time to get lost in the Midcard. This Believe in Pro Wrestling property is brought to you by Bet Online, the continued #1 source for all your sports betting needs. Join now and receive your 100% welcome bonus on your first deposit when you use our promo code BELIEVE. Now, here are Jeremy Bennett and Matt Black on the Believe Podcast Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast where we remind you, chin up, tits out, and watch out for the shoes.
Man, if I'd have known you were going to start that, I'd had a shoe in my hand.
It is Lost the Midcard. Welcome to this edition. Yeah, not much going on this week. I was like, welcome to this edition of nothing going on this week. Next week,
there's some decent news out there. At least it's not CM Punk drama.
Yeah. AEW has survived without CM Punk for a week. Perfectly fine, though. The ratings are going to be ugly. Of course, they're all going to be ugly in the fall on Saturdays. But anyways, I digress from that. Thank you for joining us. As always, we are live every Monday. We're leading up to Monday Night Raw tonight. First Monday Night Raw of 2023, going head-to-head with Monday Night Football. Hopefully they don't mail it in. Of course, big Monday Night Football matchup tonight. Aaron Rodgers debuting with the Jets against the Buffalo Bills in what appears to be completely shitty weather. So,
Look. I don't give a flying F about anything else that happens in this game except for Gabe Davis of the Buffalo Bills needs to get me 3 points so I can win my fantasy game.
There you go.
That's all. That's all I care about. I need 3 points from Gabe Davis so I can win this freaking game. It wouldn't even be a competition right now if I didn't play against Tyreek Hill yesterday. I should have blown these people out. But freaking Tyreek Hill came alive, and luckily they started Daniel Jones last night. So hopefully, as long as Gabe Davis can get me 3 freaking points tonight, I win. So
in my league, I started the Cowboys defense.
Oh, you lucky bastard. I started the Steelers defense. Big mistake.
I'm up 60. I have the most points in my league. Oh, and I still have Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, I think you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
I think you're going to be okay.
But like my big money league, I lost J.K. Dobbins. Great. Lovely. The only position I could not afford to lose was running back, and guess what? I lose my starting running back.
Never. That's what you get for drafting a Raven.
Well, yeah, coming from a Steeler fan, yeah, okay. I drafted a Packer, and he did. For me and for me in my league. So, Aaron Jones, so I'm up big in that one in my league at least. But yeah, it's week 1 of now 18. So what? The regular season's 14 weeks now. So there's a long ways to go. So that was our fantasy football segment for the evening. Thank you for joining us. If you haven't done so already, make sure you give us a subscribe ski on the YouTube. Search for Believe in Pro Wrestling. That is BLEAV if you're on the podcast side of things. Otherwise, and then that way you can watch the video side of things. Join us live. Join us in the chat. We got a lot of people in the chat already. We'll get to that in a minute. Make sure also that you are hitting the bell icon so every time, not only when we go live, but when Rick and SP3 go live, or when an interview with Rick also happens to go live. So it's always good to hit that bell icon too, and share it with all the friends so we can get everybody in the chat. Of course, geez, I should have saw this coming. Ozzy in the chat already taking shots at Rick, even though Rick's not on the show.
See, look, we can all live in harmony on the Believe in Pro Wrestling channel. Rick's a Bengals fan. I'm a Steelers fan. I don't even know who's your team?
Bears.
Oh yeah, that's right. The Bears. I don't know who SP3's team is. Is it is he? I would assume it's one of the New York teams, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not sure who SP3 rides with in the NFL. That's a
I don't
question.
know. 100.
I'm honestly 100%. Not sure. But yeah,
Not sure.
we don't need that like NFL divide. The fan base hate is so ridiculous. It's like the wrestling and promotion hate. It's ridiculous, it's stupid, and you can be friends with other people who are friends of other franchises. It's not that big of a deal.
Craig, what's up? Thanks for joining us. Steven Chambers always with us. We appreciate you. MK, thank you for joining us as always as well. Can we talk about
Punk.
CM Punk? No,
If
we have
we
no
don't
Punk
have
news
to,
today.
we're not going to.
Mark Cho joining us. Thanks for joining us. Mark Cho on the mend. I hope you're getting better. Seems like you're getting better, so that's good to hear. Bengals kicked my butt. Steven is a Bengals fan as well. Yeah. Oh, Chase and like T. Higgins didn't even have a catch, and he wants out.
Look, going into that weekend, starting the Bengals defense doesn't sound like a necessarily bad idea.
No.
In all the offseason moves, all the offseason moves the Steelers made, I thought for sure they would. I didn't expect us to win on Sunday, but I expected us to be competitive. The 49ers are one of the best teams in the entire NFL right now. NFC, AFC, like period.
Yeah.
They're one of the most complete teams in football. But I expected us to be competitive.
And
we got
Nick
stomped on Sunday. It was not fun.
Nick Bosa signed, so you had to face Nick Bosa too.
Yeah.
And then
we could have waited another week to get that done.
And then Mr. Relevant Man, I mean, coming off that injury, that dude's legit. He's legit, man.
I wonder how far they would have gone last year had he hadn't gone down.
Mark Cho on the Tony Khan bandwagon, rooting for.
Yeah, he's been hardcore Jags fan for a couple years now. But hey, I drafted Trevor Lawrence and Calvin Ridley, and they did all right by me this weekend.
I've got Ridley in a couple leagues, and Lawrence is my big money quarterback. So, yeah, but yeah, I wish Lawrence would have done a little more. But I gambled in my league, and I took Anthony Richardson as my quarterback for the Colts. Boy, that was a good gamble so far. He gave me 20 points, and like I said, I got a 60-point lead, so I'm pretty safe on that one. MK Browns fan. Steven Chambers.
They had a good Sunday. You got to give credit where credit's due.
If you watch the Pat McAfee show, the brand new Lions, Aussie Buccaneers fan, buddy of mine, Dan, that I do a dynasty auction league with, he's a Bucs fan as well. How about them Cowboys? Well, the defense.
I want to see how they look later in the season.
There's a lot of people.
Week one can be very deceptive.
There's a lot of
Chiefs
people
lost. The Bengals lost. The Steelers lost. Like a lot of, in my opinion, like playoff contender teams, did the job in week one. So let's not just write anybody or crown anybody after 1 week of football.
Crown their ass.
They are who we thought they were.
That happened against my Bears about 15 years ago.
Look, no NFL fan will ever forget that rant. So
that was a Monday night game because I was throwing Dart League at the time.
Yeah, it was a Monday night game.
I was at the bar watching that press conference and just cracking up. I was half drunk too, but hey, I was cracking up. Man, that was hilarious. Got a lot to talk about here. Frantic World, thanks for joining us. Yes, welcome to Lost in the NFL Midcard. If you thought we were here to talk pro wrestling, you're wrong. We're breaking down betting lines for tonight's Monday Night Football game next. Let's see what happens with the DraftKings Sportsbook here. Dolphins, I
regret not drafting anybody from the Dolphins for sure.
I kept Waddle in my big money league, and he did decent for me, but I'm going to have to start 8 wide receivers now because J.K. Dobbins is down. I mean, literally, I have Chubb, then Khalil Herbert, then Ezekiel Elliott. It's ugly. So
I got Derrick Henry and James Conner.
It's tough in the big money league
either right now
because it's 12 teams that keep 2 people and you can only keep them for 3 years. And at the draft, it's just running backs just fucking fly off the shelf. So like I was okay. Well, I'll take a risk on J.K. Dobbins. Well, hey, look, he's off to a great start, and he's out for the season. I'm like, fuck. Anyways, yes, make sure to get your NFL bets on Bet Online. I should have. Well, I didn't even think of that.
Thanks, Joe.
I forgot. I plugged the wrong sports book there. Yeah, Bet Online, man. I went like 0 for 6 on all. I had bet $5 and get 200 in bets. It's $25 bets. So I got 8 free $25 bets. So I did. I bet on the Husker game, won. Even though they lost, I bet against the spread and still won. And then I did like 6 NFL games. I did spread and over under 0 for 6. Thank God I hit 100. Yeah, thank God I hit $100 baseball parlay. But yeah, like one of them was.
This is why I don't bet.
Yeah.
I would be. Sundays can be annoying and aggravating enough.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
like if I bet on top of it, like not only can your team frustrate you, fantasy football can frustrate you, but I lose money on top of that.
Yeah.
That's just like the combination for a miserable Sunday.
Yeah. I used to bet a lot and I just got too stressed out, so I quit doing it. And then I was in Iowa for concerts last month, so I decided to do the old get the free $200 in bets. Hey, I might make some money. Well, I did. I made like 100 off of a baseball parlay. So hey. But anyways, that again, once again, lost in the NFL midcard. Welcome. We're gonna break down our top 5 plays here next. And starting with number 1. Oh, that guy. Yikes.
XFL news.
Yeah, XFL news. Happy days, maybe. I don't know. I don't think it's going to change much, possibly. But today is the final day that Vince McMahon is the majority owner of the WWE.
Where's my trumpet?
I figured you were going to play Cena's theme there for a minute. So yes, Ari Emanuel's Endeavor Group now going to take over. Deal is expected to close tomorrow, so then WWE and UFC will be under the same umbrella.
I truly hope this is the beginning of the end of Vince being a part of this company. I hope. I
do too. But it sounds like he got back into the company because of this deal.
Yeah, but I'm hoping it's only a matter of time until they have the board vote on meetings and they just vote him out.
Yeah, because
that's my hope. That's my hope.
You can tell for the most part, booking has kind of been Vince free. It seems like, at least, like there hasn't really been much to really go, oh, that's a Vince move right there, So I think it's been a lot of Triple H recently, when we obviously could tell at some points it was Vince.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I said, the day-to-day operations in WWE not expected to change. Triple H is going to remain head of creative. McMahon will still run the company as usual. McMahon will be the executive chair of the new company, owning 16% of the stock. There's been no hints of McMahon appearing on TV. With that mustache, I wouldn't either. But one is wondering,
spinal surgery earlier this summer. So
one is wondering if his name will be mentioned on programming this week with this whole thing going down. McMahon has, of course, been involved as the head of WWE since he bought it from his father in 1982. And they actually kept the sale quiet because, well, Vince was on commentary and didn't want to blur the lines until blurring the lines made them a lot of fucking money. So, Triple H has been in charge. But
I think the thing is Triple H is going to continue to run the day-to-day at WWE Creative, just like Dana White runs the day-to-day for the things at the UFC. Yeah. Like Endeavor hasn't proven that they're really hands-on with with screwing around with that type of content.
That's why they're jacking up the prices.
Like Steven's question, like Endeavor's first move, I think it will be making cuts, but I don't think it's going to be on the talent side. I think the staff of WWE is going to take a massive hit this week. I think a lot of office people are going to lose their jobs this week, and I think that really sucks. There's going to be
duplicated work somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. That's what happens when you merge companies together. So
yeah,
I don't foresee any roster cuts except for maybe Matt Riddle.
We got that coming up later.
But
We
But
got
yeah,
that coming up later.
I unfortunately foresee a lot of office cuts occurring in the next couple of weeks, which really sucks. Yeah. Like I feel bad for anybody out there that could potentially lose their job
Yeah,
because of a merger like this. That sucks.
but that's business for you. That's not just wrestling
No,
business. It's business
that's
business.
everywhere, unfortunately.
My guy, if you've been watching the podcast for almost 9 years now, we're coming up on 9 years, Matt.
It's
9
insane.
years.
Off and on, but 9 years.
Moxley's my number one guy, but not too far behind is this guy right here. Yeah, LA Knight. Got some LA Knight news. We had some LA Knight news, and then we had an LA Knight update that actually just dropped not too long ago this afternoon. It is being reported that it was recently reported that WWE and LA Knight were close to nailing down a new 5-year deal to keep him with the company. And they are told WWE sources claim that there are elements of the story that aren't quite accurate. They're saying it is true that Knight and WWE are engaged in extension talks and a 5-year deal was offered, but the two sides are far apart on money as of now, and no deal has been agreed to. It doesn't appear imminent either, but they will keep negotiating. Key deal on this is Knight's deal doesn't run out until 2025, so there's a year and a half left.
Yeah,
There's
there's plenty of time.
Yeah, no pressure to rush on this at all. But they're one of the non-factual items of this whole story was the fact that LA Knight's push was because of this tying to a new contract, and sources with WWE say no, as there are expiring contracts right now of people that are getting pushed today as we speak. So that's not the case. But
And it's not like WWE's been in a ton of contract talks right now anyway with the merger thing this year.
No, and and it's also there's no cause, there's no cause for alarm or anything. There's no cause of LA Knight all of a sudden going down in the card. We've got a merch story coming up later that shows LA Knight firmly in the top 5 in merch sales at live events and such. LA Knight is in a good position. There are people on his side, and it's just a matter of if LA Knight, one of his biggest weaknesses, he's self-admitted, is playing the politics game. And so, trying to remain on top like this it could be tough depending on how it's going. But obviously, the way they're presenting him right now, the way they're presenting him on commentary, I mean, like they acted like they're blown away at the reactions he got on SmackDown, which is the same reactions he's been getting for a couple of months now. And they're putting him over on commentary, which is a huge part of if you're thinking creative's going to stay with a guy or not. And right now, if Cody's the guy that gets traded to SmackDown,
who else could it be?
Do not be surprised if LA Knight wins the Royal Rumble and challenges the world champion.
Well, I think that's fantastic because if Cody's on SmackDown, he doesn't need to win the Rumble.
Nope.
And I think that's a great thing. Let him go through the Elimination Chamber.
No, or somehow, if you set it up somehow.
Well, what they do every year is the winner of the Royal Rumble picks one opponent, then the other titles decided through the Elimination Chamber. So like Cody won the Elimination Chamber in February. Like I don't see any problem with that whatsoever.
Yeah, because I think you almost do have to finish the story at WrestleMania. And I mean, as hot and as fast as WrestleMania 40 tickets are, I could say, I was gonna say you could almost have Reigns and Cody main event the Royal Rumble, but I think the story does have to finish at WrestleMania.
Yeah, they're not ending it like the way they're dragging out this bloodline story right now. They're dragging this out, kicking and screaming all the way to WrestleMania 40.
Oh, remember what Paul Heyman said, Matt? We're only a third of the way there.
Third of the way my ass.
Ozzy, when will CM Punk show up? On Impact?
I still hold firm that of all the companies out there, Impact is his most likely destination. Yeah. But we don't even know if he has a non-compete or not. We don't know this information. And until that information's out there, everybody that's speculating is just speculating without facts. Like I don't foresee him being anywhere anytime soon. And if it is somewhere, I still sit firm. I think it'll be Impact.
Yeah, I mean, and Steven has here, but WWE better concentrate on re-signing Drew. I've said it on this show. I don't think Drew's re-signing. I don't think he's going to Impact. He's already been there, done that. I think he's going to go to AEW. But I still
know Drew had time extended on his deal.
Yeah,
from
being
the time
hurt.
He took off after Mania. So like I think his deal goes until like right around Mania next year. So
I just don't I don't know. I don't feel it right now that they're really sticking him with Riddle ain't really telling me this, that they're going to, that, I mean, if he's basing things on how he's being booked, oh, look what's going on right now. So,
well, I think honestly, it's a sigh of relief if
well, now, yeah,
WWE programming for a while, maybe it'll actually force them to.
Yeah,
to
now we
properly.
could now we could change. Jesse in the chat, Kyrie saying bringing over friends from New Japan and Stardom after the Pirate Princess returns to the WWE.
I promise you one thing: Kyrie is most likely coming back to WWE, but that means nothing in terms of New Japan or Stardom. New Japan,
Stardom maybe, New Japan
is firmly with AEW, and Stardom has no interest in working with WWE right now.
Yeah.
So
LA Knight women,
that's not happening.
Steven Chambers saying LA Knight winning the Rumble. Yeah. Yeah. How about the Miz?
What about the Miz?
What about the Miz?
Yeah, I'm
doing a great job.
I'm not sure what we're asking here. What about the Miz? Be
I did.
Specific, Ozzy.
Oh, I did like the Cena interview. I thought that was kind of funny. I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny.
Hated it.
That's a fun hater.
I don't like the Invisible Man wrestling.
Now, if they do it,
Independence, I don't like. I didn't like this on Raw. I don't like it at all.
Oh, I love it on. I love Janela face the Invisible Man.
I fucking hate that shit. I fucking. Hate
they better not do it though on the Waller effect when they're advertising John Cena being there. So, how about Gunther
no, that's on
winning
SmackDown though. That's where Cena's going to be for the next 2+ months, based on how long the strike is going to last. Well, Gunther's got to drop the Intercontinental title first before he can go ahead and win the Rumble. But I don't hate that idea either, especially if Seth holds the title until Mania. Gunther Seth Rollins WrestleMania 40 match is that's money to me. But Gunther's going to have to drop the Intercontinental title first. Yeah. So we'll see what's in the plans for that. But yeah, I don't hate the idea of Gunther winning the Rumble. He went 1-30 last year. Logic would dictate if he got like a 20. If he entered at like 21 this year, he should win easily.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not an exciting one for me though, but I'd rather have LA Knight do it. I mean, you could have Gunther beating Rollins.
Well, to me, if LA Knight wins the Rumble, Seth ain't champion.
No, it might be. It's probably Gunther.
I'm not sure who would be. Maybe someone in Judgment Day, Finn Balor or Damian Priest or something like.
Yeah, Priest still has the briefcase. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't see LA Knight and Seth Rollins as a WrestleMania match. I just don't think looking to divide their audience like that.
I just don't think Gunther's gonna jump right into the world title picture after dropping.
Well, you wouldn't technically. Well, it depends on when he drops the Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
Like let's say he drops it at Fastlane next month against Chad. Between then and Rumble, there's more than enough time to build him.
Is that official now?
As a Royal Rumble threat? Oh no, I'm just speculating.
Oh.
Like no, I don't think there's any matches announced for Fastlane
I'm trying to
yet.
I'm trying to figure out how they got.
If they do that in a rematch and Chad wins, then that's more than enough time to establish Gunther as a main event player on Raw. And I already actually think they have established him as a main event player because of what they've done with the Intercontinental Championship.
Well, they made it a big deal that he took his first loss in the main roster when Gable won by countout.
Countout, yep.
And
you got to keep in mind, Triple H is an old school guy. And if you look back at the old school way, the way things were done in WWE in the 80s and 90s, people with long reigns with the Intercontinental Championship were being prepped for the main event in the company.
Yeah.
Macho Man Randy Savage, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels.
Rock.
Austin. Yeah, there were a lot of
Triple H.
Yeah, see, you're proving my point. There were a lot of big names that were firmly established as Intercontinental Champion before losing it and being bumped into competing
I
for
just
the
don't think they're
WWE
going to rush him into
Championship.
that. I just don't think they're going to rush him into the world title picture, so to speak. I think you're going to have a few feuds yet. So that means I think maybe not Royal Rumble, but I think maybe around SummerSlam time, he might get his first world title shot. But yeah, I don't know. Will Randy show up? Apparently he's close. So
Here's the thing. I thought Randy was going to come back and do something with Cody. But if Cody's going to SmackDown, does Randy stay on Raw? And if so, what does Randy do when he comes back? Especially if
Randy
Riddle's
technically
not around.
a free agent?
Well, that's a fair point. I don't think he was drafted anywhere.
No.
So I mean, yeah, because he hasn't been on since probably like May of 2022, I think.
Yeah, it's been over a year.
Yeah. So yeah, he's not drafted anywhere. So I mean, technically, I guess he could show up wherever. But man, if you're moving Cody and Randy Orton over to SmackDown, like, man, what the fuck you doing to Raw? Like, you're gutting a 3-hour show. That's kind of rough.
Yeah, but gives you time for the younger guys to shine too. Longer matches.
Maybe they're just looking to stack SmackDown right now during the NFL season. Maybe they're just trying to get all their viewership on Fridays and they're giving up on Monday for the next 4 months.
Well,
I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see what Raw looks like tonight. That'll probably give us a good idea if we're right or wrong on that.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna get destroyed no matter what they do, anyways, on Mondays. So, MK, what is CM Punk doing in the Impact Zone? Yeah, I don't know.
Look, I don't even know where Impact makes money to begin with. Like, I honestly do not know how that company financially makes money, but clearly they do. Clearly, Anthem has the money to support this company. So, if Punk truly loves the professional wrestling industry, like he says, and he wants to rebuild his name and his legacy, Impact's the place to go. There's nowhere else. Because going to the NWA would be the dumbest move in the world. But he could legitimately do something for Impact if he went over there and he was on his best behavior. I truly think he could help take that company to another level.
So basically,
if he doesn't go over there, to me that just means he doesn't really love the industry like he claims he does anyway, and he just loves the money. So we'll wait and see what happens with them, won't we?
So basically, Anthem's got Access TV. Well, no wonder they're not leaving.
Yeah,
Invicta,
they're basically on there for free.
Invicta MMA, Game TV, which is like the Canadian version of Game Show Network. That's about it. Fight Network. But yeah, I don't know where they get their money from. Blowing hookers, probably. I don't know. Steven Chambers, looking forward to Wrestle Dream October 1st. Danielson, Sabre Jr. Yes, it was very sad when Danielson said he made a promise to his daughter that when she turned 7, he'd be done with pro wrestling.
I don't necessarily believe that's the terminology he used. I think his days as a full-time performer.
Yeah.
Will end then. I still think he's still going to work for AEW, and I think he'll almost adapt the Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns schedule and still continue to do things on screen for the company in that fashion. But I think we are unfortunately in his last year, as a full-time performer is right now.
Yeah,
unless suddenly his daughter becomes like the biggest wrestling fan in the world. Right. And she wants him to continue wrestling. That could happen, but who knows?
That's what I said on Twitter. That's what I said on Twitter earlier today. Birdie's 7th birthday. Daddy, I don't want you to retire. It's a present.
Wouldn't that be something? That'd be a great swerve.
And Danielson could actually be doing that too, but he's gonna apparently put the pedal to the metal for the rest of another year or less, which is gonna be.
I really hope he gets a run with the title.
I really hope he gets a run with Nigel.
Well, we just need one match with Nigel. I'd like to see him get a run as AEW World Champion.
Yeah, you got to think that eventually that's going to happen. But MK in the chat here, good stuff in the chat tonight. We're not even getting to some of our stories, which is perfectly fine.
I love chat. I love mixing it up with the chat. Bring it on.
Should Gunther lose in a 3-way then and move to the world title? I don't know. There's some way
that's not a bad idea at all. Like
Gunther
could drop that title without even being pinned.
I think that somehow they're gonna finagle. Somehow, I don't know how they're gonna do it after last week's loss, but somehow I think they're still gonna finagle Gable pinning him somehow.
Look, Gable, Gunther, and a third man, and Gable pins whoever the third guy is in the match. Look, he still gets the moment. Gunther still loses, but he didn't technically get pinned or submitted, and they can hold on to that for a while. You know, I don't think that's a bad thing.
Warrior refused to do a lot of things, Mark Cho. Of course, so did Hogan. They have a TV rights deal with Dazen, says Mark Cho, so that must make him a few bucks. Yeah, they got some dollars.
International. Yeah, look, they have multiple international. That honestly, Mark Cho, that's very fair. They have multiple international TV rights deals, and I guess if those are paying them very well, that's where a lot of their money is probably coming in as, because they're not getting that money here in the States, and that's the biggest problem. If they can secure a national, a bigger television rights deal here on a channel that more people get, I think that would be very beneficial, to Impact Wrestling.
If they own Access TV, that ain't gonna happen. That's the sad part.
Well, no, not necessarily. If Anthem's smart enough to see that there's a big money deal, involved for Impact. Look. Let's just call craziness here. Let's say we saw over the weekend that Triple H was with the owner of Amazon and Ari Emanuel at that runway, that New York runway gimmick that Maxine Dupree was on. If WWE is looking to do a deal with Amazon, which means WWE, either Raw or SmackDown, and Amazon Prime. Let's just say SmackDown's going to Amazon Prime. Let's just we're speculating here. We're just speculating. If SmackDown goes to Amazon Prime and that leaves Fox open, who's to say that Fox couldn't bring Impact to FX? I'm not saying to bring it to Fox proper, but Impact Wrestling on FX would be a gigantic upgrade for that company, and a lot more people would be able to see Impact weekly on a channel like FX than Access TV. So
we should know by the end of the month where they're landing in 24, right?
I would not be surprised if we don't have more information on WWE's media TV rights by the end of this month.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting hanging with Bezos there.
That's real. And it's not like they weren't seated together. He was literally smack in between, Emmanuel and Triple H. That wasn't an accident.
And we know they can do live TV. They're doing it with Thursday Night Football. So.
Exactly. So yeah. I could honestly see something like SmackDown moving to Prime Video. It would not surprise me at all, and that would also make sense why they're starting to do, if they're moving Cody over there and potentially that's where Randy Orton goes. It's definitely not out of the realm of possibility, man. I definitely think you can't rule it out.
Jesus. No, never mind. I thought that was last year. Oh, well, still Jesus. Last year, I can't believe this on a streaming service, but last year, Nielsen estimated that nearly 9.6 million people averaged to watch Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime last year.
That's bonkers.
Now, NFL is obviously king of...
but still on a streaming service. That's bonkers numbers.
And Peacock's doing the same with a regular season game and a wild card game this year. They're going to be on Peacock.
Yeah, I would not be the slightest bit surprised if we hear that SmackDown's going to Amazon Prime.
What's
at
up?
at some point this month.
The tribal chief has graced us with his presence. Jake.
What up, Jake?
Jake, thanks for tuning in. Steven, Elimination Chamber is bringing Jake into the show. Appreciate you coming.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.
Joining.
Speaking of Steven,
we're almost every Monday, just rambling about wrestling and sometimes football, apparently. So.
Oh yeah, we the entire first 10 or 15 minutes was football today, which wasn't expected, but at the same time, if you've listened to our show for 9 years, it's not new. Steven Chambers, glad Jade is back. Need to do something with the women's division. Yes, nice little surprise there where Jade saving Chris Statlander from the Renegade Twins, only to
I called Thunder Rosa's return on Saturday night. I called a return. I predicted it was Thunder Rosa, so I was half right. But Jade's back, so that's cool. And look, and if Thunder Rosa's right behind her, that's a really nice double shot in the arm to that women's division.
Yeah,
you know, in a real hurt. I could see Thunder Rosa returning a Grand Slam to confront whoever wins that title match between Saraya and whoever challenger ends up being after Dynamite this week.
Probably Tony Storm, wouldn't you think?
You think it's good? You think it's going to be Tony and Saraya at Grand Slam? Yeah,
I think so.
I guess it's possible.
Watch out for the shoe. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Pretty cool return there, and it was funny. I watched Collision today actually, and Tony Schiavone called Ricky Starks Tony Starks. Oh my god! I bet there's a lot of Iron Man jokes on Twitter that night. That was pretty funny. Then that sit down with Eddie and Claudio. Man, I can't wait for that match.
Eddie's winning that title, man.
I cannot.
Claudio's done next to no work with New Japan. It makes no sense for New Japan
for him to
put the Strong Championship on him. When they put both titles on the line, I'm like, it's Eddie's time, baby. Kingston's finally going over in at freaking Arthur Ashe Stadium.
Oh, that's gonna be a big pop.
Awesome, dude. They should
be a deafening pop, man.
That should main event that show. That should be the main event. The title for title. Put that in the main event slot.
Frantic World saying CM Punk will be the boss of Impact Wrestling. Mark Cho, the Punk Network.
Oh God.
Let's see here. What would happen to Peacock with? I don't know. Well, I mean,
Peacock. I believe they still have another year or two on the deal with the WWE Network stuff, and then once that's up, all bets are off.
Amazon Prime's organization is 10 times worse than Peacock. I do not want the.
Yeah, it absolutely is, and I'm not.
I want the network,
but Prime is even worse. So,
I should just VPN myself the WWE Network again. But
VPN and Fight is my bread and butter, my friend.
Yeah. So, well, do you VPN WWE Network too? Or
I do not, because I only pay the minimum fee for Peacock. So why am I going to pay double for the WWE Network? That's the logic I use on there. If Peacock was the same price as the WWE Network, I would subscribe to the WWE Network internationally instead.
MK, when Impact was on Spike, didn't they get 1 million per week? They did, but it is also a different time. Streaming services were not a thing.
The people who fondly remember these numbers from back in the day and they want to trumpet all this stuff really need to look at the decline in cable subscribers over the past 20 plus years. And you would truly understand that. Let's say if AEW was on when Impact was pulling those twos, AEW would probably be doing threes, because just the cable system has lost so many subscribers over the past 2 decades that it's not even funny.
How about the past?
Really, the only thing that cable it seems to be the only thing people really keep cable for now is live sports.
How about the past 2 weeks? So many people ditched cable for YouTube TV.
But Spectrum finally got their deal locked down. So
just today. Yeah. That just happened today. So the start of the college football season, first 2 weeks, didn't get it. You didn't get, obviously it didn't really matter with NFL because their first game was tonight, but with the Jets and the Bills. But yeah, that probably would have been a very big tipping point if they didn't get that deal done by today, with the big Monday Night Football matchup coming up. Mark Cho saying next week we debut Lost in the NBA midcard. Not quite yet, Mark Cho.
It ain't tip-off time yet. Look,
NFL's king for
I
me.
have a really good feeling about my Lakers this year, though. A lot of great offseason moves by the purple and gold. Fingers crossed. I think we can go back to the NBA Finals this year.
Hey,
As long as everybody stays healthy. That's the key. Everybody's got to stay healthy. But I really do think we have a shot at going to the finals this year if we can keep a healthy team.
My Celtics number 1 seed under first year coach Joe Mazzulla. It's not too bad considering they had the old coach dipping his pen in the company ink. Before we run down what to look for this week, let's run through the rest of the news real quick. We're going to do this very quickly style as opposed to normal style since it's been a great chat. Appreciate everybody talking in the chat with us today. This has been a very quick 50 minutes here. Deonna Purrazzo is set for free agency in 2024. Her deal expires at the end of the year. Do you expect her to re-sign, or would you like to see her? I don't know, man. I mean, WWE spurned her so much.
I think if she had intention on remaining there, the deal would be done already. I think she's
gotta
still.
Be AEW.
I think she's still low key upset that they tacked on an option year onto her that she didn't even know about. Because her deal was supposed to be up at the beginning of this year, and they slammed some kind of like option year on her that she had no idea existed. And I think she's still low key bitter about that. I do think Deonna Purrazzo goes to AEW. I do not.
Yeah, WWE's treated her badly twice. I don't know.
Yeah, and she's got Brett over in AEW.
Yeah,
and she main evented in AEW Dynamite before. I was at that show. She main evented in a Dynamite against Mercedes Martinez to crown the undisputed Ring of Honor women's world champion. So like she's already familiar with what AEW would do with her. I believe Deonna's AEW bound in 2024. And I think look, you got Jade back, you got Rosa back, Mercedes Moné is coming in to do work for them once she's healed. If you can bring in Deonna Purrazzo too, damn. That women's division's looking really freaking good going into 2024. Nah, not possible, Marcho. That's
probably not even
they ain't buying out that.
No. Top merch sellers in WWE at live events recently. Cody Rhodes top in the list at number 1. John Cena 2. LA Knight 3. Yeah. At AEW, the top seller was the Better Than You Baby shirt. As I think they have held off on pulling that. I think they were intending on pulling that, much like RK Bro, even though that was only supposed to last one night. I think they were going to pull the trigger on Adam Cole and MJF splitting, but people love it so much. All right, the
Cole plus MJF gear, the merch that they're being sold is head and shoulders above like almost anything else AEW has produced this year. It was in their smart best interest to listen to their fans and call an audible and keep this going, because I don't think it was supposed to continue. But I love the fact that they decided to do it because they listen. And I love a wrestling company that actually listens to what the fans want. That's a novel concept in 2023.
Matt Riddle in a now deleted Instagram post going off on those at the JFK airport, saying he was sexually assaulted by an officer and harassed. So then, well, that led to WWE filing their internal internal investigation. And
I don't think it was I think it was JFK filed their own internal investigation. I don't think it's WWE. I believe the airport launched its own investigation. I don't believe that has anything to do with WWE.
Anyways, he is not at Raw tonight, so do not expect
or scheduled for this weekend's house shows either. So I think WWE's pretty much had enough with him.
Pretty interesting news.
The way he left UFC, and they're about to become one this week. I would not be surprised if they let him go. I really wouldn't.
Some pretty interesting news, and imagine if this would have happened back in 1993, prior to one of the most iconic moments in Raw history, which in the first year it happened, when 1-2-3 Kid pinned Razor Ramon. Sean Waltman revealed that New Japan Pro Wrestling was calling him at the same time WWE was. So it would have been interesting to see him kind of make a run in Japan and see how that would have altered the universe from there. Kind of what if Cody Rhodes, go ahead. Cody Rhodes puts his stamp on Chad Gable, says he hopes he wins the Intercontinental title. He is amazing. For Impact for Dynamite coming up this Wednesday, Don Callis reveals his next masterpiece. This is so cool because a Twitter friend of mine is making these, and she is Mel Coleman she's
so talented, man.
Very talented, and so very cool to see her work getting out there in AEW. Who's the next masterpiece? Any idea? Any guesses?
Well, whoever it is, it's Takeshita's next feud.
Yep.
That's what they've teased. Whoever it is Takeshita's next target. If you would have asked me a week ago before Dynamite concluded, I would have said maybe Hangman.
Yeah,
clearly Hangman's locked in with Swerve now. Yep. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure who it's gonna be. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to see, what direction they decide to go in. Maybe it'll be Guevara. Like I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know, because Guevara is obviously fighting Jericho at Grand Slam, so
yeah.
And then I think the writing's on the wall there for them to make up after that match and be a tag team.
Oh, I don't think possibly, so. I think that's the end of them.
Nope, I don't think so. I think they're gonna make up and go for the tag team. Yeah,
so it'll be really interesting 2 weeks from now when we talk about that, because I think they're splitting, and you think they're gonna hug and make up. So
I think so.
And yeah, Steven said Jordan Grace. Jordan Grace signed a new multi-year deal with Impact. She's not going to AEW anytime soon.
God, Jesus, this is gonna drive me nuts now. Who the hell would even be considered at this point?
Yeah, I don't know.
Wow. Maybe Garcia. Maybe the Hardys.
Hardys
Keith Lee.
Why is Takeshita going after the Hardys?
I don't know. There's really nothing here that makes sense. Maybe Keith Lee, because Keith Lee needs something. But he's mainly been doing Collision. That don't really matter, but I don't know. That's interesting. Monday Night Raw tonight. Raquel Rodriguez faces Rhea Ripley without a dirty dumb. Cody Rhodes returns to Raw. I think he was gone for a week, wasn't he? And Imperium holding an Intercontinental title celebration for breaking the record. Ibushi, that might be a good guess there, MK. And Ibushi might.
He's not signed with the company though.
Or is he? Dun dun dun. It's time for Monday Night Raw, kids, or Monday Night Football, whatever you're going to do, or both if you have a couple
Take
TVs
your pick.
like I do. Take your pick. Matt, any final thoughts?
Nah, just it was nice to have a week of wrestling that wasn't so stressful.
And a great chat tonight. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for coming out and making the chat a lot of fun. For Matt Black, this is Jeremy Bennett. Thank you for tuning in to Lost the Midcard. We'll be back at you next week. And as always, we're brought to you by Bet Online.